Join me as I challenge myself to master pro-level conversation skills using just a few simple tips. Give me a few minutes and I'll improve your communication skills created and shared by Audiobook Paradise. Introduction. Speaking like a pro isn't just for business meetings or big presentations. It's for everyday conversations too. Being able to express yourself clearly and confidently can make a huge difference in how you're perceived and how you connect with others. Think about it. When you can articulate your thoughts well, you're more likely to be taken seriously and build stronger relationships. One of the biggest hurdles people face when trying to communicate effectively is nervousness. I mean, who hasn't felt those butterflies in their stomach before a big talk or even a small chat with someone new? It can make your words jumble together or your mind go blank. Then there's the issue of unclear messages. Sometimes we know what we want to say, but it comes out all mixed up. This can lead to misunderstandings and frustration. Another challenge is maintaining eye contact. It's easy to get caught up in what you're saying and forget to look at the person you're talking to. Or on the flip side, you might be so focused on the other person that you neglect your own nonverbal cues. Finding that balance is key. Lastly, using filler words like and ah can make you seem less confident. It's not that they're bad in themselves, but when overused, they can detract from your message. So, how do we overcome these challenges? First, let's talk about body language. Your posture, gestures, and facial expressions all convey confidence and interest. Stand up straight, make use of open and expansive gestures, and smile. These simple actions can make you feel more confident, and others will perceive you that way too. Tone is also crucial. Varying your pitch and speaking at a moderate pace can keep your listener engaged. Clarity of speech is vital. Practice articulating your words, especially the tricky ones. Record yourself and listen back to identify areas for improvement. Another tip is to breathe. Taking a deep breath before you start speaking can calm those nerves and help you speak more clearly. One technique that can drastically improve your speaking skills is practicing active listening. When you're engaged with what the other person is saying, you're more likely to respond thoughtfully and build a meaningful conversation. This means not just hearing their words, but also picking up on their emotions and underlying messages. It's amazing how much more smoothly conversations can go when you're truly listening. Using pauses effectively is another game changer. Pauses can give you a moment to gather your thoughts and ensure you're saying what you mean. They also give your listener a chance to process what you're saying, making the conversation feel more like a dialogue and less like a monologue. The power of practice can't be overstated. The more you put these tips into action, the more natural they'll become. Start small, maybe with a friend or family member, and work your way up to more challenging conversations. To recap, speaking like a pro isn't about being perfect. It's about being clear, confident, and engaging. By working on your body language, tone, clarity, and listening skills, you can become a more effective and compelling communicator. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. If you've got your own tips or challenges with speaking, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. And if you're looking for more ways to boost your communication skills, check out my next video where we'll dive into advanced conversation techniques. Good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. It's a skill that touches every aspect of our lives, often without us even realizing it. The way we speak, listen, and connect with others shapes our relationships, influences our careers, and impacts our daily experiences. Yet, many of us underestimate the power of strong communication. It's not just about talking, it's about building meaningful connections that feel natural, respectful, and clear. If you've ever felt misunderstood, struggled to express your thoughts, or found yourself lost for words, you're not alone. The good news? Communication isn't a talent you're born with. It's a skill you can develop. The words you choose and how you say them create impressions and influence outcomes. Whether you're at work with family or speaking to a stranger, your communication can either open doors or close them. Some people command respect just by how they speak, while others struggle to be heard. The difference lies not only in the words they use, but in their tone, clarity, and confidence. Words can uplift, motivate, and heal. But when used carelessly, they can hurt and alienate. Speaking with kindness and clarity builds trust. Speaking with negativity or confusion pushes people away. Also, how you speak to yourself matters. Telling yourself, "I'm bad at communicating," can become a self-fulfilling belief. Instead, choose words that build you up. Every conversation is a chance to make people feel valued and understood. Small changes, like giving genuine compliments or avoiding unnecessary negativity, can greatly improve how people respond to you. Most people listen just enough to respond, not to understand. Real listening is about giving your full attention, being present, and focusing on the speaker's message, not rehearsing your reply while they're talking. People want to feel heard. Listening builds trust, respect, and connection. It's not just about hearing words, it's about noticing tone, body language, and emotion. Interrupting sends the message that what you have to say is more important than what they're sharing. Instead, pause. Let them finish. Ask questions that show genuine curiosity. When someone says, "I'm fine," but looks down or sounds distant, true listening means picking up on that and responding with empathy. Sometimes people don't need advice. They need to feel understood. Even during disagreements, listening is essential. Understanding someone's point of view, even if you don't agree, shows maturity and strengthens relationships. Listening well is rare, but it's powerful. When you truly hear people, they feel respected and valued, and they'll be more likely to respect and value you in return. People respect those who can communicate clearly and directly. Speaking clearly isn't about using fancy words. It's about organizing your thoughts and expressing them simply and confidently. Start by knowing what you want to say. Don't ramble. Speak with purpose, not just to fill silence. Confidence is key. You don't need to shout, but you do need to speak with conviction. Use a steady voice, maintain eye contact, and avoid filler words like or you know. Keep your language simple. Big words don't impress. Clarity does. Pausing between thoughts helps your message land and gives others time to absorb it. Your tone matters too. A dull or flat tone can make even exciting news sound boring. On the other hand, warmth and energy draw people in. Match your communication style to the situation. Be relaxed with friends and more structured in professional settings. And always ensure your body language matches your words. People believe what they see more than what they hear. Timing can make or break a conversation. The right words, spoken at the right moment, can inspire and connect. But even kind words, poorly timed, can cause confusion or hurt. Before speaking, ask yourself, is this the right time? Will my words help or harm? Taking just a few seconds to reflect can save you from regret. Some moments call for immediate responses, while others require patience. Know when to pause and when to speak. And remember, silence isn't always awkward. Sometimes it's the best response. Tailor your words to the person and the situation. Speak differently to a friend than you would to a boss. Adjust your tone and content accordingly. In emotionally charged situations, be calm and thoughtful. A sincere apology or a kind word, delivered at the right time, can heal. Constructive feedback is best received when the listener is open, not defensive. Self-awareness and empathy are your greatest tools in saying the right thing. With time and practice, you'll become someone whose words truly resonate. Words are only part of communication. Your body also sends powerful messages through posture, gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact. Confidence is reflected in how you carry yourself. Standing tall, relaxing your shoulders, and making eye contact show that you're present and sure of yourself. Facial expressions reveal emotions. A genuine smile can put others at ease, while a tense expression can shut them down. Be mindful of what your face is saying. Gestures can add meaning when used naturally, but fidgeting or crossing your arms may signal discomfort or defensiveness. Eye contact builds trust, but too much can feel intense, and too little may seem evasive. Balance is key. Tone of voice also plays a critical role. The same sentence can feel comforting or harsh depending on how it's said. Speak with warmth and vary your tone to keep people engaged. Finally, pay attention to others' body language. Are they leaning in or backing away, making eye contact or looking distracted? These cues help you adjust in real time for better connection. Strong communication is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Whether you're trying to build relationships, grow professionally, or express yourself more confidently, the way you speak and listen matters. Start small. Be more mindful of your words. Truly listen. Practice clarity. Notice your body language. Every interaction is a chance to. Emotional intelligence, your ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions, plays a crucial role in effective communication. When you communicate with emotional intelligence, you're not just reacting, you're responding with awareness and intention. Self-awareness comes first. Before you can connect with others, you need to understand your own emotional triggers. Are you quick to become defensive? Do you shut down when criticized? Recognizing these patterns allows you to manage them and avoid miscommunication. Regulate before you react. The ability to pause before speaking, especially when emotions are high, makes the difference between a productive conversation and a damaging one. Practice staying calm even when you're upset. Take deep breaths, count to 5, or simply acknowledge your emotions silently before responding. Empathy deepens connection. Empathy is the cornerstone of emotionally intelligent communication. It's not about fixing someone's problems. It's about understanding how they feel. When you say, "That sounds frustrating," or "I can see why you'd feel that way," you validate someone's experience. That validation builds trust. Build a vocabulary that reflects clarity and respect. The words you choose shape how others perceive your message. You don't need complex language. You need clear, thoughtful language. Use simple, direct words instead. Of saying, "I am endeavoring to ascertain the specifics," just say, "I'm trying to understand." Simplicity improves understanding and reduces the risk of misinterpretation. Avoid filler words like, like, and, you know. Weaken your message. Practice replacing fillers with brief pauses. Silence feels longer in your mind than it actually is. And it's far more powerful than cluttered speech. Choose empowering language. Say, "I will," not "I'll try." Say, "I can handle this," not "I guess I'll try to deal with it." Language that expresses confidence changes how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Know when to speak and when to listen. Powerful communicators understand that silence is part of the dialogue. Speaking at the wrong time, or too much, can dilute your message. Respect timing, don't interrupt. Don't speak just to fill silence. Allowing space in a conversation often invites deeper honesty from the other person. Listen. First, speak second. When someone's speaking to you, don't mentally prepare your reply. Just listen. Understand their words and emotions. Then respond. Based on what they actually said, not what you assumed. Communicate with confidence in professional settings at work. Your communication style can influence your career more than your resume ever could. Confidence, clarity, and diplomacy are essential. Speak up in meetings even. A short contribution shows you're engaged. Don't wait to be the expert. Share your observations or ask a thoughtful question. It's not about saying something perfect. It's about showing you care. Be assertive, not aggressive. Assertiveness is expressing your thoughts clearly and respectfully. It's saying, "I see it differently," instead of "you're wrong." This balance earns respect and creates space for dialogue. Follow up in writing. After important conversations or meetings, follow up with a brief email summarizing key points. It reinforces your clarity and builds your professional credibility. Learn. The power of saying less in a world full of noise. Clarity is power. Many people overtalk because they're nervous, but fewer, stronger words often make more impact. Get to the point. Start with your main idea. Don't bury it in backstory or disclaimers. Then support it with one or two concise explanations or examples. Leave room for response. A great communicator knows when to stop talking and let the other person speak. Conversations are a rhythm, not a monologue. Communicate across different personalities. You won't always speak to people who think, like you. Understanding communication styles helps you adapt and connect with all types of individuals. Identify the listener's style. Direct communicators want clarity and brevity. Analytical types appreciate detail and logic. Empathetic listeners respond to warmth and emotion. Big-picture thinkers want to know the vision and purpose. Adapting your tone and content doesn't mean being inauthentic. It means being considerate and strategic. Start with context or a relatable situation. Build tension with a challenge or turning point. End with a takeaway that supports your message. Make it personal when possible. People connect more with "I've been there too" than "here's what the numbers say." Build consistency in your communication. Habits. Confidence comes from repetition. The more consistently you practice intentional communication, the more it becomes second nature. Daily habits that strengthen communication. Reflect on one conversation each day. What went well? What didn't? Challenge yourself to ask one good question in every meeting or gathering. Speak affirmations aloud. My voice matters. I speak with purpose. I connect with clarity. These small, consistent efforts compound into lasting change. Lead through communication. Whether you're a manager, a parent, a coach, or a team member, your communication shapes the emotional environment around you. Great communicators lead with vision, communicating the why behind the what; empathy, listening and responding with care; clarity, cutting through complexity with simple truths; inspiration, using words to move people to action. People will follow a voice that they trust, and trust is built not through perfection, but through consistency, presence, and heart. Communicate with purpose. Every day, every interaction is an opportunity to connect, to influence, to grow. Communication is not just a tool, it's the thread that ties together relationships, progress, and leadership. You don't need to be the loudest voice in the room, you just need to be the clearest, the most authentic, the most intentional. Silence is one of the most underrated tools in communication. Used wisely, it can create space for reflection, build anticipation, and encourage others to speak freely. Silence builds presence. You don't have to fill every gap in a conversation. Sometimes a moment of quiet allows the message to sink in more deeply. It shows you're thoughtful, not hesitant. Let others speak pausing gives others permission to reflect and respond. It invites collaboration. In fact, when you ask a powerful question, don't rush to fill the silence. Give them space to think. Use silence to defuse. Conflict when tensions rise. Responding with silence rather than immediate emotion can prevent escalation. It shows control and often prompts the other person to soften their tone. Silence, used with intention, is not emptiness. It's power. Align your voice with your message. Your tone, pace, and volume all influence how your words are received. Even the most well-crafted sentence can lose its impact if it's delivered without intention. Tone communicates emotion. Are you warm, firm, calm, Your tone should match your message. Delivering an apology in a flat tone won't feel sincere. Giving praise without enthusiasm will fall flat. Adjust your pace. Slow down when sharing something important or emotional. Speed up when telling a light story or giving energy to a point. Your pacing affects attention and emotional response. Project with purpose. Speak loudly enough to be heard, but not so loud that it feels aggressive. A clear, steady voice communicates confidence. Practice breathing from your diaphragm to support strong vocal delivery. Your voice is an instrument. Learn to play it well. Ask for what you need. Many people struggle to communicate their needs clearly. They hint. They hope others will guess. But indirect communication often leads to frustration and misunderstanding. Be clear, not demanding. Use assertive but respectful language. Instead of, "I wish someone would help," try, "Can you assist me with this task?" Instead of, "You should have known," say, "Next time, I'd appreciate it if you could check in with me first." Set boundaries. Clearly, healthy communication includes setting boundaries. You can say no without guilt. Example, "I'm not available to take that on right now, but I can revisit it next week." Clarity isn't rude, it's respectful to yourself and others. Rebuild trust. Through communication, when trust is broken, whether in personal or professional relationships, communication becomes the bridge to healing. Start with accountability. Acknowledge your role in the situation, even if it wasn't all your fault. "I see now that I could have handled that differently," is powerful. Listen, without defensiveness. Let the other person speak fully. Validate their emotions, even if you don't. Agree with every point. Speak to reconnect. Use words that reflect empathy and your desire to move forward. "I value our relationship and want to rebuild trust between us." Trust can be restored, but only if communication is open, honest, and patient. Communicate vision and inspire change. In leadership and influence, your ability to communicate a compelling vision is what moves people forward. People follow clarity. They follow purpose. Speak to possibility. Great communicators don't just describe problems, they inspire solutions. "Here's what we can do together" is far more powerful than "this is what's wrong." Paint the picture. Use vivid language to help others visualize the goal. Imagine a day where our customers feel supported every step of the way is more inspiring than "we need better service." Connect to emotion. Facts tell. Stories and emotions sell. Don't just appeal to logic, appeal to what people care about. If you want to create change, start by communicating belief. Speak with impact in digital space. Setting healthy boundaries is a powerful act of self-respect and a vital communication skill. Boundaries protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Start by knowing your limits. Before you can communicate a boundary, you need to understand it. Ask yourself, what's draining me? What do I need more of or less of to stay balanced? Use clear and respectful language. Be direct, but kind. You don't need to apologize for your needs. "I'm not available at that time, but I can help tomorrow." "I'm not comfortable discussing this right now. I need time to think before I respond." Stand firm. Without over-explaining, you don't have to justify every decision. Clear, consistent boundaries create mutual respect and healthier relationships. When you communicate your boundaries, you teach others how to treat you. Influence. Without intimidating, true influence isn't about overpowering others. It's about guiding them, inspiring action, and creating alignment. Start with empathy. Understand what motivates the other person. What do they care about? When you show that you understand their world, they become more open to your ideas. Use "we" more than "I." Influential communicators create shared ownership. Say, Here's what we could try. Instead of, "This is what I think," ask before you tell questions like, "What's your take on this?" Invite collaboration and build buy-in. People support what they help create. Influence is less about volume and more about value. Offer insight, not pressure. Lead by example, not by force. Prepare for crucial conversations. Crucial conversations, those that involve high stakes, strong emotions, or sensitive topics, can be intimidating. But when handled with care, they become opportunities for transformation. Prepare. Don't script. Think through your main message and desired outcome. But don't script every line. Stay flexible. Conversations rarely go exactly as planned. Begin with shared purpose. Start with your intention. "I'd like us to work through this together," or "This matters to me because I care about our relationship." Stay grounded. During tension, if emotions rise, breathe. Return to your purpose. Use calming language like, "Let's slow down for a second. Can we take a moment and come back to this?" Crucial conversations require courage, but the outcome is worth it. Communicate. With gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful and underused forms of communication. It deepens relationships, improves teamwork, and lifts morale. Say it. When you feel it, don't wait for a special occasion to say thank you. A simple, "I appreciate your help today," or "Thanks for listening," goes a long way. Be specific. General praise fades fast, but specific appreciation leaves a lasting impact. Your patience during the meeting helped everyone stay calm. That message you sent was so clear. It saved us time. Express gratitude. Publicly and privately, private thanks builds intimacy. Public appreciation builds culture. Use both. The more you express gratitude, the more others feel seen, and the more they're inspired to keep showing up at their best. Know when to walk away from the conversation. Sometimes, the most effective response isn't to keep talking, it's to step back. Recognize when it's no longer productive. If someone is unwilling to listen, repeatedly disrespectful, or clearly escalating conflict, it may be time to disengage, temporarily or permanently. Use respectful exit language. "I think we both need time to cool off. Let's revisit this later." "I care about this conversation, but right now isn't the right time." "I'm going to step away. I want us to talk when we're both ready." Walking away doesn't mean you're avoiding the issue. It means you're choosing clarity and composure over chaos. Reflect to improve. Every conversation holds a lesson, if you're willing to reflect on it. Ask yourself, what did I do well? What could I express more clearly next time? Did I listen as much as I spoke? Over time, this self-awareness becomes your compass. You'll begin to notice patterns. What triggers you? What energizes you? What helps you connect more deeply? Growth happens when reflection meets intention. Make communication. Part of who you are communication isn't just a skill you turn on in certain situations. It's a way of being. When you communicate with presence, clarity, and care in every part of your life, you create a lasting impact. Live your values. Through your words, are you kind in how you speak? Do your words match your actions? Do you lift others or shut them down? Speak with integrity. Let people know what they can count on from you. Be the person who speaks with honesty, even when it's hard, but never without compassion. Make connection a daily practice. Ask, listen, respond, encourage, thank. Let your communication become the rhythm of how you lead, love, and live. Closing. Thought, your voice can change everything. You don't need to speak perfectly. You don't need to impress anyone. You only need to speak with honesty, with intention, and with heart. Your voice can connect. Your voice can inspire. Your voice can change lives, including your own. So speak up. Speak wisely and speak often because the world needs your voice, and you're more ready than you think. Clarity is essential in communication, but compassion is what makes it human. The way we speak can either open hearts or close them. Put yourself in their shoes before you speak. Ask yourself, how would I feel hearing this? This small act of empathy shifts your tone and makes your message easier to receive. Compassion doesn't mean avoiding the truth. You can be honest and kind. Instead of saying, you didn't do this right, try, here's a part we can improve together. Compassion builds trust. When people feel safe with your words, they're more likely to open up, collaborate, and stay connected, even during disagreement. Speak not just to be heard, but to help others feel understood. Use communication to resolve, not win. In conflict, we often fall into the trap of wanting to win the argument. But great communication isn't about victory, it's about resolution and understanding. Drop the need to be right. The moment you shift from winning to understanding, the energy changes. Now it's two people on the same side solving a problem. Together, ask, what are we both trying to protect? Often, beneath the surface of conflict is a fear or a need, like respect, safety, or validation. Naming that deeper layer invites healing, not hostility. End with a bridge, not a wall. No matter how intense the disagreement, aim to end with mutual respect. I appreciate you talking through this with me. I value our relationship. Speak your truth without creating distance. Being authentic doesn't mean being blunt. It means expressing your truth in a way that invites connection, not resistance. Use courage. Kindness. Here's how I'm feeling right now. I want to share something that's been on my mind because I value our connection. These kinds of statements set the tone for truth that's safe, not sharp. Don't weaponize. Honesty, truth without care, becomes criticism. Honesty must be wrapped in empathy to build trust. Your truth matters, but so does how you deliver it. Communicate as a leader. Even without the title, leadership isn't a position. It's a way of communicating that inspires, includes, and guides others. Speak vision, not just tasks. People want to know why something matters. Connect actions to purpose. This project helps us create something meaningful for our clients. This change lets us serve people better. Use inclusive language. Say we, not you. Say our goals, not my expectations. Leaders lift people with their words. They encourage, support, and remind others of what's possible. Build a communication legacy. Your words don't just shape moments. They shape memories. Over time, how you communicate becomes part of how people remember you. Be known for your encouragement. Do you build people up when they doubt themselves? Do you celebrate others' growth out loud? Words like, you've got this, I believe in you, or that meant a lot to me, stay with people long after the moment passes. Be someone who speaks light into the room. Ask yourself, what feeling do my words leave behind? You don't have to say something profound. You just have to speak with heart. Speak in a way that sparks. Action motivational communication doesn't just sound good, it moves people forward. Use future-focused language instead of, here's what went wrong. Say, here's what we can do next. Instead of this failed, say, this is what we're learning. People are more inspired by direction than by blame. Add energy to your voice. The words matter, but how you say them gives life to the message. Enthusiasm is contagious. Use it to light a path forward. Communicate to build confidence in others. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is, I see something in you. Mirror people's strengths. Back to them. I noticed how calmly you handled that. You bring such great ideas to the team. Specific encouragement helps people see what they didn't know they had. Ask questions that empower. What do you think your next step is? What would success look like for you? These questions shift people into ownership and spark their growth. Be fully present. When you speak, your physical presence may be in the room, but your communication presence depends on your attention. Put away distractions. Nothing says you don't matter more than half listening. Phones down, eyes up, heart open, respond with depth, not just replies. That's interesting, tell me more. How did that make you feel? Depth invites trust. Surface responses create distance. True presence turns ordinary moments into meaningful ones. Make every word. Count, we live in a world full of noise, but not enough meaning. The best communicators know when to speak, when to pause, and when to say nothing at all. Be intentional with your language. Facts inform, but stories transform. People remember stories because they engage both the heart and the mind. Start with a moment, not a message, instead of starting with, "Let me teach you something." Begin with a scene. I still remember the day I almost gave up. It was raining, I was late, and everything seemed to go wrong. Let your audience feel the experience before you reveal the lesson. Follow the classic arc situation. Set the scene. Struggle. What went wrong? Shift. What did you realize or change? Solution. What can the listener take away? End with meaning. Always leave your listener with a truth, insight, or challenge. A good story lingers long after it ends. Build communication resilience. There will be moments when you miscommunicate, are misunderstood, or say the wrong thing. That's not failure. It's part of the process. Don't fear mistakes. Learn from them. If a conversation doesn't go well, don't retreat. Reflect. What did I miss? What triggered me? What could I do differently next time? Apologize with strength, not shame. If you've said something hurtful or unclear, own it. That wasn't my intention. I'm sorry for how it came across. Let me try that again. I want to be clearer. Resilience in communication means bouncing back, stronger and wiser. Speak across cultures with awareness in today's global world. Communication means navigating differences in language, values, and expression. Be curious, not assumptive. Don't assume your style is universal. What feels respectful in one culture might feel distant in another. Learn before you lead. Adapt without losing authenticity. You don't need to change who you are, but you do need to consider how your message lands in different contexts. Practice cultural humility. If you misstep, don't get defensive. Ask questions. Listen more. Grow. Inclusive communication doesn't just tolerate differences, it celebrates them. Develop your presence before you speak. Great communicators don't just speak well, they feel grounded, calm, and compelling before they say a word. Energy enters before you. Do your presence walks into the room before your voice does. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and arrive with intention. Calm is contagious. Especially in high-pressure moments, your inner state becomes your outer message. A grounded tone and steady pace reassure your listeners, even if the message is tough. Presence. Power plus peace. The more present you are, the more influence you have. Why? Because people feel safe around someone who is centered, aware, and fully engaged. Communicate with purpose, not performance. You don't need to perform when you speak. You need to connect. Speaking with purpose is about sharing from your truth, not acting for approval. Drop the act. Keep the intention. You don't have to be polished to be powerful. Speak from your center. Speak from your why. Purpose. Grounds. You, when nerves hit, remind yourself. Why am I here? Who am I here to serve? What truth needs to be shared right now? When you speak from purpose, you radiate sincerity, and sincerity is magnetic. Say the hard things with grace. Some of the most important conversations in life are also the most uncomfortable. But avoidance creates distance. Truth spoken in love builds trust. Use the truth sandwich. Start with connection. I care about you and our work together. Share the challenge. Here's where I think we need to make a change. And with belief. I know we can get through this, and I'm here to support that. Be honest, not harsh. You can be clear and still be kind. The key is intentional, tone, and respectful delivery. Hard conversations become healing conversations when you bring empathy to the truth. Listen to what's not being said. Words are only half of communication. The other half lives in tone, silence, and energy. Pay attention to emotion. Is their tone flat? Eyes distant? Body tense? These cues often speak louder than words. Ask, "Are you okay? It seems like something's on your mind. Want to talk about it?" Honor the silence. Don't rush to fill quiet moments. Sometimes silence is where the truth lives. Listening deeply means being fully tuned in, not just to the voice, but to the whole person. Use words to heal. Words can harm, or they can heal. Your voice holds power. Use it to comfort, to uplift, to repair. Speak hope. Into pain when someone is struggling, avoid cliches. Instead say, "I don't have the right words, but I'm here. I can't imagine how that feels, but I care deeply." Validate without fixing. You don't always need to offer solutions. Often, the most healing thing you can say is, "That makes sense. You're not alone." Healing communication is built on presence, compassion, and trust. Speak like someone is always listening. Even when you think no one's paying attention, someone is. A friend, a colleague, a child. Your words shape more than you know. Model the kind of communicator you admire. Speak with integrity, positivity, clarity, care, even in casual conversation. Practice intentional language. Words leave ripples, and you get to decide what kind. Use your voice to create. Change your voice isn't just a way to express yourself. It's a tool for shaping the world around you. Speak up for what matters. Speak out against injustice. Speak forward into possibility. Advocate with clarity and courage. You don't need to be loud to make an impact. Speak with consistency. Speak with purpose. Speak for those who can't use your privilege, whether in voice, status, or platform, to create room for others. Change begins with one clear, courageous voice. Let it be yours. True influence isn't about persuading people to do what you want. It's about helping them see what's possible for them. Lead with value. Before you ask, give. Share insight, support, or a solution. When people feel helped, not sold to, they naturally lean in. Speak to elevate. Ask yourself, will my words lift this person? Will they leave better than they came? Influence built on service creates lasting impact. You're not pushing people. You're pulling them toward their own potential. Master your inner communication. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Words shape reality. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not a good speaker," your actions will follow. If instead you say, "I'm learning to communicate better every day," your confidence will grow. Replace criticism with coaching. Don't say, "I messed up again." Say, "What can I learn from this to improve next time?" The voice in your head becomes the tone of your life. Make it your greatest ally, not your harshest critic. Communicate with calm in chaos when everything feels out of control. The ability to speak with calmness becomes a superpower. Slow down to stabilize in fast-moving situations. Slow speech calms emotions. Pacing your words helps you think clearly and makes others feel safe. Use grounding language. Instead of, "This is a disaster," say, "Let's take it one step at a time. We've faced challenges before. We'll figure this out." Your calm communication becomes a steadying anchor for those around you. Make people feel seen. Everyone wants to feel recognized. When you speak in a way that makes someone feel truly seen, you unlock connection at the deepest level. Name what you notice. You always bring such thoughtfulness to the group. The way you handled that was really graceful. Acknowledge. The unseen effort praise not just the result, but the effort behind it. I noticed how much preparation went into that. You made it look easy. Validation doesn't cost you anything, but it means everything to the person receiving it. Don't just communicate, connect. Communication without connection feels hollow. The true goal is not just to be heard, but to be felt. Connection comes from presence. When you're fully present, listening, engaging, responding, the other person feels it. That's what creates depth. Ask real questions, go beyond surface-level talk. What's been on your heart lately? What's something you've learned about yourself recently? Connection starts when you stop talking at people and start being with them. Communicate with curiosity, not certainty. It's tempting to want to have all the answers, but curiosity often builds more trust than confidence alone. Ask more than you tell. The most trusted voices often ask, "What's your take? How do you see it? What am I missing?" Curiosity communicates humility, and humility opens minds. Certainty can create walls. When you speak like you have it all figured out, others may shut down. But when you speak like you're still learning, others feel safe to contribute. Create moments, not just messages. People don't remember everything you said, but they remember how you made them feel in that moment. Design the feeling before speaking. Ask, do I want this person to feel seen, empowered, encouraged? Craft your message to create the moment, not just to check a box. Add a human touch. Sometimes a handwritten note, a voice message, or a warm compliment turns a small moment into a lasting memory. Moments are how your message lives on in others. Practice the pause. In our rush to respond, we often miss the most powerful tool in communication, the pause. Why pause? It gives your message weight. It shows that you're thoughtful. It invites the other person into the space. A pause isn't empty. It's full of respect, intention, and presence. Use it wisely. Before answering a difficult question. After delivering an important point, when emotions are high. The space between words can say as much as the words themselves. Speak in alignment with your values. The most compelling communicators don't just share ideas, they live their message. Check for alignment. Do your words match your actions? Do your conversations reflect what you stand for? Integrity in communication builds unshakable credibility. Think about the last time someone said exactly what you needed to hear. Maybe it wasn't loud, maybe it wasn't perfect, but it hit home, and it shifted something inside you. That's the power your voice has. Every time you speak, you have the chance to light up someone's path, even if you don't realize it in the moment. A kind word to a stranger, a thoughtful question in a meeting, a story that makes someone feel less alone. You never know when your voice becomes someone else's turning point. So speak like it matters, because it does. Be the person who asks the second question. Everyone asks, "How are you?" But very few ask, "No, really, how are you? Honestly?" Surface-level communication keeps us polite. Deeper communication makes us human. The second question shows that you're paying attention, that you care, that you're willing to stay a little longer in the uncomfortable but meaningful part of the conversation, and that's where the connection happens. You don't need perfect words, just a brave heart. You don't need the right vocabulary. You don't need to sound like a TED speaker. You don't need to rehearse for hours. You just need to show up, be honest, be real. People aren't moved by perfection. They're moved by truth. So when your heart's pounding and your throat's tight, speak anyway. Not because it's easy, but because someone needs to hear what you have to say. Conversations that change lives start with one bold sentence. You don't need a script to spark a breakthrough. Sometimes all it takes is one bold, brave sentence. I've been thinking about something I haven't said yet. Can I be honest about what I'm feeling right now? I care about you, and that's why I want to have this conversation. These aren't rehearsed. They're real. And real is what creates change. One honest sentence can open the door to healing, growth, forgiveness, or clarity. Say it. Open the door. Let something better walk through. When you can't find the words, lead with presence. Sometimes there's nothing to say. Not yet. Not clearly. That's okay. In those moments, what matters most is not what you say, it's how you show up. A nod that says, "I'm with you." A hand on someone's shoulder. Sitting in silence without rushing to fix. Your presence is a message. You're not alone. I see you. I'm here. And sometimes, that's more powerful than any perfect sentence could ever be. Speak as if they'll remember it forever, because they might. The words we speak in frustration or kindness, they don't disappear. Long after you've moved on, someone might still carry your words around like luggage or like a lifeline. Choose words that heal. Choose words that invite growth. Choose words that say, "You matter." Speak with care. Your words can outlive the moment. Speak to the heart, not just the head. Facts inform. Logic convinces. But emotion moves people to act. Want to be remembered? Don't just give data, tell stories. Don't just explain, feel what you're saying. Anyone can talk. Not everyone connects. It's not enough to just say something. You need to say it in a way the other person can hear. Use words they understand. Speak from a place they relate to. Adjust your tone to their state of mind. Great communicators don't just speak clearly, they speak with care. Understanding is the goal. Speaking is just the tool. Your vulnerability is a superpower. We've been taught to hide our feelings, to stay strong, to keep our voices steady. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, "I'm scared too. I don't have all the answers. This is hard for me to share." That honesty, it opens doors. It softens people. It invites trust. People connect more with your scars than your perfection. Your vulnerability doesn't weaken your voice. It strengthens your impact. Pause before you respond. Presence is power. The most powerful communicators don't rush. They take a breath. They make space. They respond instead of reacting. That pause tells people, "You matter. I'm listening. I want to say this right." The moment between hearing and responding is where wisdom lives, and when you master the pause, your words become more intentional and unforgettable. Let people finish their sentences. This sounds simple, but it's rare. Too often we interrupt, jump in, or rush someone through their thoughts. But when you let people finish, truly finish, you're telling them your voice matters. I'm here with you, not ahead of you. This space is safe. Letting someone speak without interruption is one of the most respectful gifts you can give. Speak with your eyes, not just your voice, before you even say a word. Your face, your posture, your energy already said something. Are your eyes open? Are they warm, curious, present? Do they say, "I'm here"? Do they say, "I care"? The most powerful communication often happens in silence. Eye contact, a nod, a smile. When your eyes are kind, people lean in. When they're distracted, people pull back. Say what needs to be said. Even if it's hard, you know that feeling. In your gut? When you know something needs to be said, but you're hesitating, say it. Say it gently. Say it thoughtfully. But don't bury it. Unspoken truths turn into resentment. Bottled up feelings turn into distance. It's not confrontation. It's say, this matters to me because here's what this experience taught me. I want this for you because I've lived without it. When you speak from your heart, people feel it in theirs. The courage to be quiet. Not every powerful communicator talks the most. Some of the strongest communicators are the ones who choose when not to speak, when someone else needs the floor. When emotions are too high. When listening is the wiser path. Silence isn't weakness. It's wisdom. And when you finally speak, your words carry more weight. Words can be seeds. Plant them well. Your words today may not bloom right away. But in a week, a year, or a season of hardship, something you said might echo back to someone who needed it most. Encouragement is never wasted. Compassion is never forgotten. Even if you don't see the impact, trust the seed you planted. Every conversation is a chance to begin. Again, you've messed up before. You've said things you regret, so have we all. But here's the truth. Every conversation is a fresh start. You can bring more kindness than you did yesterday. You can pause this time before reacting. You can choose connection over ego. The most powerful messages don't come from theory. They come from experience. When you speak from your own journey, your voice carries weight. Why? Because you're not preaching, you're sharing. I've been scared too. I've failed before and got back up. Here's what I learned the hard way. You don't need to have all the answers, just your story and the courage to tell it. Someone is waiting for you to speak first. In every group, there's someone who wants to ask, but is too nervous. There's someone who wants to share, but is afraid of judgment. There's someone who needs to know. They're not the only one. That's why your courage matters. When you go first, you make it safe for others to follow. You don't just speak. You give others permission to speak too. Find your voice, then use it for good finding. Your voice isn't just about confidence, it's about clarity. Clarity of who you are, what you believe, and why it matters. But once you find that voice, don't. Just use it to take space. Use it to make space, for others to be heard, for hard conversations to happen, for progress to unfold. Your voice is not just for you. It's a gift you give the world. Turn doubt into dialogue. Doubt doesn't mean stop. It means listen. What's this hesitation trying to teach you? What fear can you name and release? Instead of staying silent, turn doubt into curiosity. Say, I'm not sure, but I'd love to explore this with you. Here's where I'm stuck. Can we talk it through? Dialogue isn't about having it figured out. It's about being willing to go deeper. Together. Your quiet voice still matters. Not everyone is loud. Not everyone wants a spotlight. And that's okay. You can be soft-spoken and still speak powerfully. You can be quiet and still be clear, kind, and deeply heard. Volume doesn't equal value. You don't have to speak like anyone else. You just have to speak like you, real, honest, intentional. Speak even when you're shaking. The moment your voice trembles. That's not weakness. That's courage showing up in real time. The fear, that's part of it. The pounding heart, that means it matters. The shaking voice, that's strength rising anyway. Don't wait to speak until you're fearless. Speak because you're brave. Make room for other voices at the table, great communicators. Don't dominate the room. They expand it. They ask, what do you think? Have we heard from everyone yet? Whose voice is missing? You don't just make your voice heard, you make sure others are heard too. That's not just communication. That's leadership. Communication is a daily practice, not a destination. You don't become a master communicator overnight. Every message you send, every word you speak, every silence you hold, it all adds up. So don't pressure yourself to be perfect. Just be present, be honest, and keep practicing. Growth lives in the repetition. Speak from love. Even in conflict, you can disagree without demeaning. You can be firm without being cruel. When conflict arises, lead with, "I care about us, and that's why I want to talk. I want to understand where you're coming from. Let's figure this out together." Love doesn't avoid hard conversations. Love enters them with open hands and a soft heart. Your voice is already enough. You don't need to sound like anyone else. You don't need to be louder, smoother, or more polished. The voice you have right now is enough to make a difference. So use it, not someday, not once it's perfect, but now. Because someone is waiting to hear exactly what you have to say, exactly the way you say it. You have something to say, something you've learned, something you believe, something that could help someone else. But maybe doubt whispers, "Who am I to say this? What if I'm wrong? What if no one cares?" Here's the truth. Your lived experience is wisdom. Speak from that place. Speak humbly, but don't hide. Your story could be the exact perspective someone needs. Small words can create big shifts. You don't need to deliver a perfect speech to change someone's life. Sometimes all it takes is, "I believe in you. You're not alone. You're doing better than you think." It's not about how long you speak. It's about how true your words are. Never underestimate the ripple effect of a kind, honest sentence. When the room gets quiet, lean into it. We tend to fill the silence, out of habit or discomfort. But sometimes, silence means people are feeling, processing, taking it in. Let the moment breathe. Look around. Stay present. Hold space. Silence doesn't mean something went wrong. It often means something finally landed. Your words can be someone's mirror. Sometimes people can't see their own value until you name it. You say, "I see strength in you. You've grown so much. You have a gift, even if you can't see it yet." And in that moment, they glimpse a truer version of themselves because you reflected it. Use your words to help people remember who they are, to remind them of what they've forgotten. That's real communication. That's human magic. Every time you speak, act as if your words matter, because to someone, they do. You might be the person who says what no one else has dared to say, names the unspoken truth in the room, reminds someone of their worth, right when they needed it. You don't always get to see the impact in real time, but speak anyway, as if your words could save someone's day or change their life, because sometimes they will. Your silence can be misunderstood. We often stay quiet to keep the peace, but silence isn't always neutral. To others, your silence can feel like disinterest, disconnection, dismissal. If something matters to you, say it. If someone matters to you, tell them. Words left unsaid often echo louder than words spoken. Speak when it's hard, not just when it's easy. It's easy to speak up when things are going well. But your voice matters even more when the topic is uncomfortable. The stakes are high. The silence feels heavy. That's when courage shows up. Leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about stepping in when it's difficult. Even if your voice shakes, even if you're unsure, even if it's messy, hard conversations are often the ones that move us forward. Not every message needs to be long. It needs to be felt. We've grown used to over-explaining, to filling space, to adding words for the sake of sounding right. But impact doesn't live in how much you say. It lives in how clearly and how deeply your message is felt. Sometimes, I'm proud of you. I hear you. I'm here. That's enough. Your message doesn't have to be long. It has to be real. Be the person who speaks life into a room. There's enough criticism in the world, enough judgment, enough negativity. Be the person who walks in and says, "You've got this. I love your perspective. This team wouldn't be the same without you." Words are energy, and you get to choose. Do I drain this room or do I light it up? Let your voice be fuel for others' belief. Stop editing yourself to be more. Acceptable too, often, we water down our message to avoid discomfort. We say, less truth, less emotion, less of what we really mean. But when you censor your voice to stay safe, you trade connection for comfort. Speak your truth, even if it's softer, even if it's imperfect, even if not everyone agrees. Because every time you do, you show someone else they're allowed to speak theirs too. Speak the words you needed when you were struggling. Think back. What did you need to hear when you felt lost? You doubted yourself? You didn't believe you were enough? Now go say that to someone else. What you've survived has shaped your wisdom, and now your words can be someone else's light. That's how pain turns into purpose. If you don't say it, who will? There are people who don't have the platform, people who are afraid to speak, people who are still finding the words, and then there's you who has seen, lived, learned, and grown. If something matters to you, say it, because maybe no one else will. Your voice is not just self-expression, it's advocacy, it's leadership, it's legacy. Speak with integrity, even when no one's watching. Some of the most powerful communication happens privately. How you speak when you're frustrated, what you say when they're not in the room, the tone you use with people who can't do anything for you. That's your communication character. Integrity isn't about performance. It's about consistency. Speak with respect, even when you could get away with something less. People may forget your words, but they won't forget your character. Let every conversation leave a trace of hope. It doesn't have to be grand, just intentional. Let your words plant hope. Keep going. You're closer than you think. Even if today's hard, you're not alone. I believe in the person you're becoming. That's legacy. Not in titles, but in how people feel after speaking to you. Let every conversation leave a small light behind. Because sometimes it is. We don't always get a warning before the last conversation, the last meeting, the last goodbye. So don't hold back the good things. I'm proud of you. Thank you for what you've meant to me. I love you. I always have. Don't wait for the perfect time to say the important things. Say them now. Say them while you can. Use your voice to rebuild. What was broken? Words can tear things down. But words can also rebuild. They can say, "I'm sorry. I was wrong. Let's try again." Even relationships that feel distant or fractured can begin to heal, not with grand speeches, but with honest, humble words. Communication is a tool for repair. If you're brave enough to speak, there's always hope. You don't have to speak loud to be heard. Some people think presence means volume. But impact doesn't come from shouting. It comes from alignment. Speak with clarity, intention, conviction. Even a quiet whisper when it comes from the heart can command attention. It's not how loud you are, it's how true you are. Ask. The question. No one else is asking. Real connection begins when you're willing to go beyond surface. Ask what others won't. What's been heavy on your heart? What's something you wish people knew about you? How are you really doing? These aren't just questions, they're invitations. To be real, to be seen, to be known. Use your voice to protect. What matters, your voice can be a shield, not just for you, but for others. Speak up when you see someone being disrespected, a line being crossed, a moment that calls for courage. It doesn't have to. Be loud, just firm, clear, unshakable. Your silence in moments of injustice speaks too, so make sure your voice speaks louder. Every time you speak, you shape the room. You are a presence. Your words create ripple effects, whether you realize it or not. Are you bringing pressure or peace? Are you adding fear or freedom? Are you building walls or building bridges? You don't just walk into rooms, you shape them. So speak in a way that leaves the space better than you found it. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can say is, "I don't know." You don't always need an answer. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to fill silence with certainty. Saying, "I don't know," can open the door to learning, listening, real connection. People don't need perfection. They need presence. And honesty creates trust. Faster than pretending ever will. Speak with patience, even when you're tired. It's easy to be kind when we're rested. It's harder when we're frustrated, drained, or stressed, but that's when your words matter most. When you choose to be gentle, even when it's inconvenient, you show maturity, strength, and grace. Patience in your voice becomes peace. In the room. Don't just listen to respond. Listen to witness. Most people listen while preparing their reply. But what if you listened with one purpose? To witness their experience, to be a mirror, to say, "I hear you." That makes sense. You're not crazy for feeling that. When you witness someone's story with compassion, you give them the gift of feeling human again. Your words are like tools. Use them to build something. You're building something every time you speak. A stronger relationship. A braver room. A more honest world. Are your words building up or tearing down? Are they building trust, building courage, building belonging? Speak with the intention to construct something meaningful. Because every word leaves a trace. Make sure yours leaves a legacy. Too many people stay silent because they haven't figured it all out yet. But here's the truth. You don't need to have it all sorted to speak up. You don't need a final conclusion to start a conversation. Sometimes, the most powerful words are, "I'm still learning. I'm not sure, but here's where I'm at." Let's figure this out together. Your growth journey is worth sharing, not just the destination. Speak to encourage, not impress. It's tempting to speak just to sound smart, to prove we know something, to earn applause. But lasting impact doesn't come from trying to impress, it comes from the desire to uplift. Speak so others feel, empowered seen, inspired to grow, impressive fades. Encouragement lasts. Speak with the goal of leaving people better than you found them. The braver you are, the braver they become. Every time you speak your truth, especially when it's hard, you give silent permission to someone else. They see your courage and think, "Maybe I can say it too." That's how change begins. That's how silence breaks. That's how voices rise. Not every moment needs advice. Not every silence needs filling. Not every story needs your input. Sometimes the best communication is simply listening deeply, being fully present, saying, "I'm here." Presence is powerful. You don't have to fix it. Just don't disappear. Say the thing that's true, not just the thing that's safe. We often hide behind safe words. We nod when we want to speak. We agree to avoid discomfort. But what would shift if you said, "I don't see it that way. Here's what I really feel. I need to be honest about this." Yes, truth risks conflict, but it also opens the door to clarity, freedom, and trust. Real communication doesn't play it safe. It plays it honest. Let your words be a home, not a wall. Words can create distance, or they can create safety. The difference is in how we speak. Do we blame or take ownership? Do we criticize or get curious? Do we build barriers or bridges? Let people feel like they can exhale around you. Let your voice feel like a soft place to land, even when the topic is hard. What you don't say, they'll fill in. When you withhold your thoughts, your praise, or your clarity, people often assume the worst. Did I mess up? Are they mad? Did I do something wrong? Don't leave others guessing. Say the good things. Say the boundaries. Say the truth, kindly and clearly, because what's unspoken is still communication, and silence can be loud. End conversations. With intention, we prepare so much for how to start things, but how you end a conversation matters just as much. Before you leave, ask, did I listen well? Did I leave them encouraged? Did I say what truly mattered? Even a few final words can change everything. Thank you for opening up. This conversation meant a lot. I'll keep thinking about what you shared. The K. Last thing you say often becomes the thing they carry with them. When tension rises, it's easy to let our voice become sharp. But real connection isn't built through cutting remarks. It's built through intentional repair. Ask yourself, am I trying to win or understand? Am I building a bridge or burning one? You can be firm without being cruel. You can be honest without being harsh, because when your voice becomes a bridge, healing begins. Be the one who speaks. What no one else will in every room, there's often one person thinking, this doesn't feel right. Why aren't we talking about this? Someone needs to say it. If you're that person, speak. Don't wait for permission. Be the one who brings truth into the light. Your courage to speak the uncomfortable may be the start of someone else's freedom. Not everyone has your courage. Speak. Anyway. Some people haven't found their voice yet. Some are still learning to trust it. Some are waiting for someone else to go first. That someone might be you. And no, it's not fair that you have to lead. But if you can, then please do. Because when you speak with heart, you unlock the voices of others too. The right words at the right time can heal years of silence. Think about it. One sentence, said with sincerity, can change everything. It can soften resentment. It can restart a relationship. It can release years of unspoken pain. Sometimes all it takes is, I'm sorry. I see you now. You didn't deserve that. Words can close wounds, if we're brave enough to speak them. If you never speak, they'll never know. We assume people know how we feel, but assumptions are the enemy of connection. Say it. I'm proud of you. You changed my life. You matter to me. Don't leave room for doubt. Clarity is kindness, and silence, even unintentional, can sound like absence. Don't perform, connect. You're not on stage, you're not in a competition, you're having a conversation. So take off the pressure to sound impressive, and instead, be present, be real, be human. Connection happens when you stop performing and start showing up as you. Speak to the person they're becoming, not just who they've been. Anyone can criticize who someone was. But real impact comes when you speak to who they're becoming. Say, I see how hard you're trying. I believe in the direction you're heading. You're growing, and I admire that. People grow faster in the presence of belief. Let your words be that presence. When you speak honestly, you create safety. We think honesty is risky, but often it's the safest thing we can offer. It says, there's no guessing here. You can trust me to be real. You don't have to read between the lines. Honesty, spoken with kindness, makes people exhale, because they know they're finally standing on solid ground. Be brave enough to say, I miss you. We don't say this enough. Maybe time has passed. Maybe pride got in the way. Maybe life just pulled you apart. But if the connection still matters, Say it. Say, I've thought about you. You meant a lot to me. If you ever... Gratitude is contagious. When you speak it out loud, to your team, your partner, your friends, it spreads. It shifts energy. It opens hearts. Try this. I noticed what you did. Thank you. Your presence makes a difference. I don't say it enough, but I'm grateful for you. A grateful voice makes everyone breathe easier, including you. You don't need the perfect moment. You just need the courage to begin. How many moments have passed while you waited for the right words, the perfect mood, the ideal response? Meanwhile, life keeps moving. Speak before the window closes. Say what needs to be said before silence turns into distance. Connection favors courage, not timing. Start the conversation, even if your voice cracks a little. Speak to disarm, not to defend, intense conversations. It's tempting to armor up, to protect, to prove, to push back. But often the most powerful move is disarming with, help me understand. I didn't see it that way. Thank you for sharing. What would make you feel heard right now? You don't lose power when you soften. You gain influence when you lower your guard. Speak as if every word builds or breaks trust, because it does. Trust isn't made in grand moments. It's built in the micro, in how you speak. When things are awkward, tense, disappointing, do your words say, "You're safe with me," or "You're on your own"? Speak in a way that makes people want to keep showing up, not shrink back. Don't just speak facts, speak truth facts. Our data. Truth is lived experience. People don't change because of spreadsheets or stats. They change because someone dared to say, "This happened to me, and here's how it felt." Truth is personal. Truth is felt. So speak the kind of truth that lives in the body, not just the brain. That's the kind that moves people. Speak the way you'd want to be remembered. Imagine this. Someone plays a recording of your voice. Years from now, what do they hear? Bitterness? Beauty? Busyness? Belief? You won't always be in the room, but your words will linger. Speak like someone who wants to leave a legacy, not just a reaction. Your voice lives on. People might forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. They may not remember your exact advice. They may not quote your sentences, but they will remember if they felt judged or understood, if they felt safe or small. Your energy carries more weight than your vocabulary. Speak with presence, not just precision. You were given a voice for a reason. Use it to lift, not just to lead. Yes, you can lead with your voice, but also, you can lift. Use it to remind people of their worth. Encourage someone back to their feet. Give someone permission to dream again. Your voice isn't just for instruction. It's for inspiration. Lead with strength, but lift with love. That's how you create change that lasts. Winning an argument isn't the same as winning someone's trust. You can be right and still leave the other person feeling unseen, unheard, unimportant. So before you try to convince, try to connect. Choose clarity over cleverness. Seek understanding over validation. That's where real communication begins. Sometimes the most healing thing you can say is, "Me too, you." Don't always need to give advice. Sometimes people just need to know they're not alone. When someone shares their pain and you gently say, "I've felt that. I've been there. Me too." You're not adding weight. You're removing isolation. Your honesty might be the bridge between their silence and their healing. Say what you mean, without saying it. Mean honesty doesn't require cruelty. You can say, "I need more from you. I didn't feel supported. I'm hurt." And still say it with care. Tough conversations don't have to be harsh. Let your truth be clear, but let your tone be kind. Speak as if someone's self-worth depends on it. because you never know what someone's carrying. Your words could be the only kind ones they hear today. So when you get the chance, compliment their courage, acknowledge their effort, tell them they matter, say the thing that lifts, even if it feels small. To them, it might be everything. You don't have to say it all, just say what's real. Not every conversation needs a speech. Sometimes it's enough to say, "This is hard. I care. I'm trying." You don't need a script. To be sincere, you just need to show up with your heart open, let go of the pressure to say it all perfectly, and just say it truthfully. Speak the words you wish you'd heard. Growing up, be the voice you needed. The one that said, "You are enough." The one that didn't laugh at your dreams. The one that stayed, even when you were messy. You can't rewrite your past, but you can speak into someone else's present. Be the voice that heals, not repeats. Speak with love. Especially when it's hardest it's easy to be kind when things are easy. The real test is when you're tired, when you're hurt, when you're disappointed. That's when love in your voice matters most. Kindness isn't weakness. It's discipline. It's leadership. It's love, even when your ego doesn't feel like it. Don't just say, "I'm fine." Say what's true. If you're not okay, it's okay to say, "I'm struggling. I feel numb. I don't know how to talk about this, but I want to try." The more you deny your truth, the heavier it gets. The moment you speak it, even a little, you start to feel lighter. Honesty isn't a burden. It's the beginning of release. Speak, like it's your last conversation with them. Because one day, it will be. You don't get to control when it ends, but you do get to choose what's left unsaid. So say the things that matter. I love you. I'm sorry. You've always mattered to me. Don't wait for tragedy to speak with tenderness. Use your words now, while they still reach a living heart. Speak to the soul, not just the situation. When someone comes to you angry, hurt, or overwhelmed, try not to just react to the behavior. Speak to the soul beneath it. Say, "You don't have to carry this alone. You're more than this moment. I still see you, and I still care. See past the surface." Your words can calm storms no one else even knew existed. You've come this far, not just in reading or listening, but in remembering what matters most. Communication is not about sounding perfect. It's about being present. It's about saying what needs to be said, even when it's scary. Listening like it's an act of love, choosing honesty over approval. Speaking not to impress, but to connect. The truth is, your voice holds more power than you've probably given it credit for. It can calm storms, bridge gaps, heal wounds, change lives, including your own, but only if you use it. So going forward, let this be your commitment. Speak when it matters, especially when it's uncomfortable. Listen like it's sacred. Say the thing you're afraid to say, with care, not fear. If you enjoyed this book and you're interested in more motivational and informational content like this, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, Audiobook Paradise. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. The next book will be just as inspiring and packed with valuable insights, specially chosen for you.